Introducing the Couch Rider Raven Report. Let's go. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. Ravens, Ravens, hey, Ravens. We gon' ride out. Ravens, Ravens, hey, Ravens. Couch Rider. Ravens, Ravens, hey, Ravens. We gon' ride out.
For some of you Twitter gangsters, this is just a hobby, original sports perspective. You can't stop me. Couch Rider Report, it's reflective. Please respect it. You will get checked, and your knowledge will be tested. I ain't the coldest Raven, but this is my show. Shout out to the Barry White rap for the beat, though. We in there. Welcome back. Welcome back to the home of original sports perspective from our couch to yours. Thanks for tuning in to the Couch Rider Report. This is your Couch Rider Raven, Jermaine Lockett. Thanks for coming through. I appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down. I'm your host for the next, I say, hopefully just an hour. That's what time we rolling with. Let's see who made it into the show first off. If you're new here, welcome. You're in for a treat if you attend the live shows. It's all about the comments. It's all about the people when they put them comments in, and then we ended up talking it out, having a good time. That's what this whole show is about, just chopping it up on the couch. Speaking of chopping it up, our co-host, Cam Rue, he's not going to be here tonight. He's taking care of family. You know, it's important. Faith, family, and football. If you look above Lamar's head, that's what it says. That's what we're about. So Cam Rue will be doing his thing elsewhere tonight with the fam. Wish him the best, and hopefully stay safe. Delicious is in the building. Yeah, no Cam tonight. Just me, baby. It's all good. Let's keep the party going. So let's see. First things first, of course, I need you to go ahead and take care of that. If y'all hadn't taken care of that, those of you in the room, go ahead and shout out on the timeline who you are. It'd be great. And also, speaking of shout outs, shout out to you because we are sitting at 1172. We're still rolling. We're still pushing little by little. Like I said, tell your friends, tell your wife, tell your kids, tell us about it and tell us about it, or tell everybody about it, excuse me. And we'll have a good time with more people in the room. Next thing, if you look up here in the right-hand corner, well, it might be your left, my right, there is a Cash App. Any proceeds on the Cash App end up going to my son and his Pokemon habit. So our Pokemon habit and his business habit was selling necklaces. Good times. Y'all haven't met Cameron because it's past his bedtime. He sleep upstairs, but you will on the weekends. He's a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan, so give him some crap when he comes in. Anywho, let's see who else is here. Lisa is in the building and she ready. She said she can't stand free agency. If you are a Ravens fan, you already know what free agency looks like for the Baltimore Ravens each year. There's probably one big splash, if any, and it probably comes in the second wave or towards the back end of the first wave while everybody else is making major purchases, pulling out the credit card. The Baltimore Ravens play it a little bit differently. I'm not saying it's smart. I'm not saying it's dumb. I'm just saying it's different. We'll get into that in just a second here. And say, yeah, oh yeah, he says, oh yeah, I forgot the show's still gonna be fire. Yes, sir, it's still gonna be fire. Cam Rue's not here with us, but we're gonna be all right. It's gonna be just fine. I got y'all, and y'all what I need, baby. Nathan says won't be active till July. Yes, because that's just how we are. We like to bargain deals. Plus, I mean, you know how Eric DeCosta is. He's not rolling into the void years of those deals. He did it this year just once. But unless he wants to roll into void years and do a lot of restructuring of contracts along those lines, he's not going to make any big splashes. Yes, he'll make some moves around to secure the Lamar Jackson deal and maybe a couple of other deals. I do see him actually rolling some money on the back end, but just simply how the contracts line up. So as long as he has money in the positive, which he does right now, because they did a lot of restructuring between Gus Edwards and dropping Calais Campbell, trading Chuck Clark, all those different moves, it made room for better moves coming up. Not moves like Justice Hill. I know that was like a move that probably upset a few people, but I mean, let's face it, we had to, secure our special teams folks, and it just did not look like a solid option to let Justice Hill go. Plus, I mean, I'm curious to see what the guy has. He's still got a lot of speed, and we need that third down back still. So, I mean, it might have been a decent move. Hopefully, it pays off. You know, I'm over here jumping right in, and we ain't even got to our motivational moment. So let's go ahead and jump on that real quick. I'll be back, Brooke. Thanks for coming. I'll be back, Delicious. We'll be there in just a second. So you can throw your shade on Justice. I already know it's coming. Like I said, shout out to you for that 1172. I made a rhyme. Maybe I should be a rapper. I don't know. All right, for your motivational moments, let's go ahead and jump right into it. It's about you. This is all. I mean, every time I do these things, it's always about you. But what I want you to understand is that when you have that dream, the dream comes free. People can have dreams all over. I mean, I can dream every night about something different, a different direction. I got a buddy of mine who has a different dream, and he next thing you know, he's making purchases like crazy, traveling trips, and the next thing you know, he's in Nebraska. I mean, that's my boy Roger. He has those dreams, but the hustle is sold separately. He had to grind every time he had one of those dreams. So when you have that dream, put the plan together, put it in motion. Remember I talked about on Monday, I was like, look, you can, or you can be about it. Just do it. I ain't talking about Nike right now, but I am saying you're going to have to get out there and you're going to have to hustle. You're going to have to put one foot in front of the other in the step of the right direction towards the direction you're trying to go in, towards the goal you're trying to gain. The dream's free. The hustle sold separately. You're gonna have to make that purchase. That is your motivational moment. All right, here we go. Let's pay some bills. Let's see what y'all have to say. All right, so down to Ozzy was the same way as EDC. Yes, you gotta figure this dude. Eric DaCosta was parking cars back in the day and bringing agents into the building. I mean, he was a talent scout, and then Ozzy took him underneath his wing, and made him marketable. He made him so marketable that the Seattle Seahawks tried to poach him from us before he was able to take over as general manager of the Baltimore Ravens. So y'all have to take a look at that. Just give me just a second. I got this thing on the screen thinking I'm still on the screen. All right, so I'm gonna hide that real quick. I'm going on my rant. Sorry about that. So what I'm saying is that Ozzy was just as important. Um, he thinks the same way as Eric DaCosta. They do small things differently. As far as the flashier players, I'd say Eric DaCosta is one that wants to go after more of the wide receivers. He wants to take those shots because he saw that as a major problem as he was sitting underneath Ozzie Newsome. Eric DaCosta wants to try and solve that problem for us. Has he been wrong in his swings, or has he not done enough in his swings? I'd say so. But I don't think he's going to stop making those swings when it comes to wide receiver for the Ravens. Let's pay some bills. Brooks here, by the way. Forgot. Say hi, Brooke. And then she got some shade for Justice. She said, I knew Justice will be back. He had a few good runs last season. I ain't mad. Okay, it's not shade. It's not shade. I thought you was coming with shade. All right. So he said, she says, Lisa says, I wish LJ gets his bread here. I'm I'm a little exhausted with the whole LJ business. It's starting to drive me up the wall a little bit, you know? So, and I know a lot of people are kind of fed up, and he's saying, "Hey, sit tight, because it's still going to go down. It's you going to sit here and take this drama because you're a fan." So I mean, that's okay. It is what it is. Let me get this off the screen. All right. And then you're not happy about Ben Powers going to Denver. I mean, this dude got his bag. You got to be happy for Ben Powers going and getting his bag, because Baltimore's not going to pay $13 million a year for a guy that they've been knowing this entire time. They know his strengths. They know his weaknesses. They helped develop the guy, which means they could possibly develop another guy within the organization. And we're hoping that is Ben Cleveland. Baltimore can't afford a guy who just made himself so marketable that he only allowed one sack, I believe, last year. And he got his bag. He got $13 million a year. So kudos to Ben Powers. Way to go, buddy. Get your bag. Can't be mad. And then you got Eric DaCosta is definitely more aggressive. I like that. That's what Delicious says. I don't know. I mean, a lot of times people were like, "Hey, we trust in Ozzie Newsome." They kept saying that for a reason because they were trusting in his process. While his process wasn't as flashy at times, there were times, yes, he went and got TJ Huzmanzada and he got Anquan Bolden. But outside of that, what was he bringing in for the offense? What was he trading for? What was he, all about trying to bring into this team? He wasn't doing this much because he was building through the draft, and sometimes he'd hit, sometimes he'd miss. Ozzie wasn't perfect, and every time y'all try to compare Ozzie to Eric, y'all got to remember one came from the other. Chicken and the egg, baby, they was together. Not one before the other. It doesn't matter. We just know that Eric DaCosta he's basically been mentored by Ozzie Newsome. Does he do things differently? Yes, but stop comparing them to each other because it's not going to do anything but make you upset. D says if Corey is cut by the Jets, I think the Ravens go after him. They liked him out of the draft, and his profile fits the Ravens. I don't think Corey going anywhere. They recognize the talent that guy's got, and I know that Aaron Rodgers has certain guys that he likes, and he's bringing in Lazard because he's already there, and of course Garrett Wilson looked pretty good, and I think that he's going to use all of those targets, and I think Corey Davis is sticking around. Brooke says, I can be nice. I think she's talking about after I was saying that she was going to be throwing some shade. And the facts, I think that was to the Eric DaCosta talk. So just be patient, y'all. It's gonna happen. These things that we're looking to happen, they're shopping, trying to find the best deal. And that's why we're having this discussion right now, is because there's gonna be 5 targets that the Ravens need to look at. Now, when I say these 5 targets, I'm not saying bring all 5 of them in. I'm saying if one or 2 of these are signed, of course, you can't go after the others. But these are 5 players that I think the Ravens should go after based on need. And those needs are defensive end, wide receiver, and corner. We know those are the needs. We know those are the needs going into the draft. Our outside linebacker position, those are still developing. We know what Ojabo can do, with the potential there. We know what Odafe Owe can do, or the potential in that situation right there. I say let the youth develop and give them those opportunities. We might be missing a will linebacker during the draft because I believe Pat Queen is going to be traded. But as far as the corners in the secondary, yes, we're missing that one corner, but I'm thinking we'd give opportunities for the youth to develop as well because we drafted a few corners a couple of years ago, or excuse me, last year. So we need to look at those opportunities for those young bucks to develop. Safety, we are set. We are really set. I mean, between Williams and between our first round pick last year that showed up big, I think we're gonna be okay. Hamilton did his thing. So yes, we are sitting there pretty solid in the secondary, just needing that extra Pro Bowl type corner. And we'll get into that in just a second. But defense, we set. Offense, the line looks pretty decent. Yeah, there's gonna be a hole at left guard, and that's gonna be a competition. But as far as center wise, we got Linderbaum, McZyler's here. I mean, on the right side, we sitting pretty. I mean, we decent. We either got draft picks, between Falele, we got Moses. I mean, the list goes on. Stanley comes back healthy. We're hoping we're gonna be all right. Wide receiver, tight end, we good. Quarterback, Lord, not tonight. I'm not going into this tonight. All right. So Brooks says, "Oh wait a minute, Denzel Mims. That is a good one. He could be available. I do like Denzel." Rogers had a list of who he wanted for him at the Jets. He probably just went in there just like my daughter when I came back from deployment. I mean, she just shook the paper at me. It was like, "We doing this," and I was like, "Okay, I guess that's what we're doing." I mean, I didn't have a choice. I was tied to the organization. I just was all about the team, and so of course, whatever her demands were, we just went with it. All right, Lisa says, "What's your take on Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets?" This is going to be a tougher challenge for him. He doesn't He doesn't have ownership of the Bears over here. There's no Bears for him to beat up on all day. Sure, there's a Miami Dolphins, whatever, but that's not the same Miami Dolphins. That's a tough team. Buffalo is actually a tough team. New England, they are strategists. They could bring something to the table that could be a challenge for the Jets. It's not an easy division that you're going to say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and take this W on, because Buffalo is so great. They got everything that they need on offense, everything that they need on defense. They just got to put that strategy together, because Buffalo is super strong. And of course, just the AFC in general. When you are going against, you got Joe Burrow, you got Lamar, you got Josh Allen. There's so many beasts. Russell Wilson, and the AFC's quarterbacks are so much more. It's so much more talent. So much more talent than the NFC. And I ain't even mentioned Pat Mahomes. Pat sitting here just like, yeah, you forgot about me, fam. Like, I just got another ring. I got 2 rings. He's like, 2 rings. Hello, who this? Just saying. The AFC is a lot tougher. Rodgers' skills have diminished a little bit, and these defenses are going to eat. And they are licking their chops, waiting for him to sign that contract so they can go ahead and send him off into retirement the right way. All right, here we go. So Lisa says, who will take Calais Campbell's place? When it comes to that position, for me, I believe it can be built on the roster already. I believe Urban can do it. I believe Matabike is extremely talented. Broderick Washington. I think those players are ready to take that role. I mean, heck, they were doing it because Campbell was injured so many times before. Matabike would come in and do his thing. He looked like, hey, I'm ready to take this full time. Give this man an opportunity. I mean, and of course, we got Jones that we drafted last year. So I feel like Jones can come in here and do his thing as well. I mean, it's doable. To be honest, Calais is more leadership than he is performance on the field. He has his times when he has those flashes of greatness, but for the most part, I think the Ravens will do okay without him. Save a little cheese. Diaz in the building. What's good, Jose? He said, "What's good, Flock? We lost Lazard to the Jets and Rodgers. I'm okay with that. It's not a big loss. I mean, that's just another weapon for Aaron Rodgers. He knows how to unlock that guy's code. I'm pretty sure if he comes to Baltimore, he disappears. That's just my opinion." Yeah. Okay. So Burke's saying, "Yeah, but my daughter's cute. Yeah, Rodgers. Yes, she does have that going for her. If I could pay her millions, I would." All right. So let's see. Rodgers complained about not having weapons in Green Bay, then asked for the same weapons he had in Green Bay. Sometimes it's that familiarity. He wants to be able to go out with guys that, they thought that they had something special last year and it just didn't pan out. So maybe he was complaining about 1 or 2 of them, and then maybe just had that connection with Lazar from the years prior. So we don't know. We're hoping that they actually do bad so the Ravens can actually clown them next year. That'd be great. I can't remember if they're on the schedule or not. All right. Brooks says, I hope Calais will be back. I think he wanted to be here. I don't know. I think I'll tell you the same thing I said about previous players that are old from the past. They taking up reps, and the young guys don't get their chance. They don't get the chance. They don't get the time to shine. I mean, there were so many players that Derek Mason was holding the spot on, and Young Bucks didn't get their opportunity. Demetrius Williams could have thrived if he didn't have to constantly wait for an old vet to get out the way for him to get his opportunity. And then before you knew it, he was injured or he was already done. Jose, Lamar, the $1 million issue or question over and over again. I'm good. Nah, I don't know. He got weapons. No, it's okay. He was replying back to Brooke. All right, Lisa said when Calais was here, when he spoke, the baby Ravens listened. Yeah, he had that ability to make people listen. That was a good leadership quality for him. He want to come back and coach the line? Cool. But I think he needs to stop taking reps. Shamar Bridges. You want to go with Shamar? I don't know about Shamar, man. I think Shamar had potential and he could climb the ladder, but did he do enough when he was given those opportunities in preseason and in camp? They were small flashes, but obviously it wasn't enough to be convincing enough to make the roster. So maybe not on Shamar Bridges. Maybe I'm out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he comes to camp and shows up. Maybe that's a cheap sign and the Ravens can go with. Let's hope. All right, here we go, folks. I know we've been yapping away. Let's go ahead and get down into it. The things y'all been waiting on is like, hey, who are these 5 guys? Who are these 5 guys we need to chase down in order to get them signed to the Ravens and make sure that they help out the team? Like guys that I think is going to help out the team a lot. So our first one, I mean, y'all probably pretty familiar with this guy. I don't know why I didn't download a picture. But first guy, I mean, y'all pretty familiar with. MP Juice, man. I mean, we already know that this guy, he's got more interceptions than anybody in the league right now since he's been since the year he joined. But, I mean, we know that as you get older in age, the second you hit your 30s, the first thing to go is what? Your legs. So if your legs are gone, even though you got all that talent, you might have the vision, you might have the smarts, you might have the instincts. But if the body is not there, then they just move you over to safety. But that position's filled, folks. I'm just saying. I think, MP Juice Man will be a great addition to us, though. If he can get a speed coach and just work on those legs a little bit harder than he's got to work harder than everybody else on his legs and get his timing up. But I think MP Juice Man would be a good pickup for this team. One, because of the leadership he brings, and two, as long as they keep him in zone coverage and nobody discovers that we run in cover two on that side of the field, then we're going to be fine. But if the second we run man or cover three, there could be a burn possibility. And unless we have that safety actually creeping over to his side to help out, because dude's going to get burnt. It's going to be just like Darrelle Revis back and towards the back end of his career. He was getting roasted. It was Revis Vacation Island. Everybody was running through that joint. All right. So I think that MP Juice Man would be a solid pickup, like I said, because he loves it here. I think at the right price, he needs to go ahead and come on back. I know we ain't paying him $15 million a year because that's just not it. That's not where he's at right now. And I'm pretty sure if he goes out and finds his market, he'll be very upset to know that he ain't the $15 man no more. All right. Brooks says we try to go after Baker and Bridget. Ravens, something funny. All right, so Baker, let's be honest, man. When Baker was drafted, the year he was up, and when we were looking at targets to replace Joe Flacco, there were a lot of teams a lot of analysts that projected Baker Mayfield to the Baltimore Ravens. As much as we clown Baker, as much as we don't like his attitude, this dude has moments. He has moments where he flashes, where he has significant play for that team. Heck, right now, if I had to say the best quarterback that the Browns has had in the last 20 years, I mean, Deshaun is good, but Baker's been there. He's got the stats going for that team. I'll be honest, I think I got to go with Baker. Brooks says, yeah, I'm good with MP coming back. Okay. Yeah, if anybody else wants to chime in, feel free, please. Let me take a water break. Shane says, I agree. MP got to stay. Yes, I think that, like I said, that leadership, the ability to be able to coach these young guys, I think that's really solid. Put him in situations where he can still win. Keep him in those zone defenses, and I think MP Juice Man will be nice. Plus, I love his attitude. I mean, just that nasty swag that he got. When he makes a big play and it's all in your face, you take that, this, that, and the other. I absolutely love it. I eat that up, man. That's the dude. And then you got Delicious saying, bring back MP. He was coming off of that ACL injury. And usually it does take 2 years, the second year, when you come back off an injury, things tend to get a little bit better, a little bit brighter for you when you go back to play after an injury like that. Jacoby Brissett. Oh, yeah, Mr. Brisket. I mean, look, Baltimore needs options for a backup just in case, they assigned this tender to Huntley. And then Huntley goes on about his way, and let's just say somebody pays that tender. Of course, Baltimore's excited because we know we got a draft pick assigned to that, but we still need a backup quarterback. Brissett would be decent to have as a backup quarterback because I'm still going on the assumption that we're going to still sign Lamar. I'm hoping. Oh my gosh, but I'm not getting into that tonight. I just want to keep going with something else. Kenny Anderson was great with the Bengals. At least you're gonna have to explain to me who Kenny Anderson was. All right, keep rolling. So, Jose, we as fans got to learn to move on. I know they're good players, but we keep holding on to aging players. We need youth, speed, and intensity. That's why I'm thinking, hey, we got to let go of Calais. And eventually, I say next year, that MP Juice Man is not on this roster, whether he wants to be or not. I think Baltimore needs to move on from him and actually go get that beast corner either through this draft or simply let a player develop that we had picked last season. Also, there was Anthony Averett. I don't know if he's still out on the market or not. Somebody let me know if Anthony Averett is out on the market. That would be a good option to pick up because the market was dry for him last year, and he went with the Raiders for a very cheap deal. He thought he was going to be balling, but he had a good year, and they saw, okay, yeah, you had a good year, but that's it. I think he made $4 million with the Raiders. If Baltimore is willing to pay $4 million for this guy, and he comes back over and starts locking people up again, of course he's going to come back to the table next year, but lock him up right now, bring him back to the Ravens because he did work well with Marlon Humphrey. You said Washington got him. Heartbreaking. Heartbreaker. All right, so I'm not trying to worry about the Lamar situation anymore, but it's hard. Yes, it is hard, Ravens fans. Flock, we just, I know y'all, the violin is playing right now. We don't know. And while this dude's sitting here, trying on some of these red boots, that's a fashion statement right now. I think the Astro Boy boots or whatever. He ain't worried. Why should y'all? Don't worry about it. This dude is either going to be under contract for this year for $32, for $32 million under the non-exclusive franchise tag when he doesn't make a deal out there, or he's going to get signed to an offer sheet, and Eric DeCosta has made the room to be able to make things happen. He's going to be able to clear up about $26 million in cap space if he has to sign him to whatever deal that gets offered out there. And I mean, let's just be honest. There are teams, and y'all got me into this. I can't believe y'all tricked me into every single time. I just fall for a hook, line, and sinker. Yes, Green Bay is going to be one of those teams that may be interested in Lamar should they get a lucrative price back from the Jets after they go ahead and sell Aaron Rodgers to them and get those draft picks. So Green Bay is one of those teams that could be in the running because let's just face it. I mean, they could talk about Jordan Love all day, but Jordan Love, Lamar Jackson. I mean, what you want? Although I don't know if they want to pay the price tag if they're just getting rid of a $60 million guy to go and pay 52 to Lamar. All right, so people talking about AA. Oh no, sorry, Shane was talking about Brissett, not AA. So AA may be out on the market. Okay. And you say you love AA and people clowned you for it. Look, the dude did his thing. Yeah, the first couple of years it was pretty rough. People was like, hey, he's a burn victim. They were tight ends. He was lining up on tight ends. I mean, yeah, tight ends were going to get the best of them, whatever, because they were a little bit bigger. He was a little bit more positioned. But when it came to shadowing technique, AA was it. AA was pretty good. All right, Lisa says, back in the 70s, Kenny Anderson was the quarterback of the Cincinnati. Oh, sorry, yeah. I was thinking like, hey, was a current player? Yeah, you're right. You're right. You think Vegas still got him? I don't know if Vegas still got him. I thought for sure he was on a 1-year deal for. Let's go and look it up. We finna look it up together, folks. Y'all, we got to find this out. Somebody just hit me up. That was not it. All right, somebody look up AA because y'all came here to watch this show, not me look up other stats. All right, Jose says I like Baker and Allen. They got the grittiness. Yes, Baker was definitely. He had the attitude. He had the gameplay to back it up. You gave him the weapons, and the guy looked pretty decent. I think there was just like, if let's just say Watson was not on the table at all. If Watson was not available, I think Cleveland would have put full belief into Baker Mayfield. I think that belief was still there until they decided to even go looking that direction. Then things fell off between Cleveland and Baker, and then that's when it just was unrepairable. But Baker still got talent. Tampa Bay got a decent quarterback right there. Of course, we love Josh Allen. Let's see. Let's move it on down a little bit. So that's always a good thing. HBU. I'm sorry, I'm not up on my acronyms today, abbreviations. So Brissett just signed with Washington. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm good. I don't care about Brissett. I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, so we just did one. So we was at 5. Number 4. So this player right here, he was extremely explosive when it came to being in Jacksonville. LSU product. I think he had a decent amount of talent. If y'all can just hang on just a second. I think we might have a need a quick moment. That was very important. Tonight's show is brought to you by my daughter's cookies. Lila makes some amazing, what are they called? Molasses cookies. Yeah, well, we're going to hold off. But I appreciate you. Because I'm going to try to choke on the show. Y'all need to see me choking on the show. All right. Yes, the molasses cookies are really good. So anyway, what was I saying? The guy that we want to talk about next was, like I said, explosive in Jacksonville, LSU product. I thought for sure that Baltimore was going to get this guy during the draft, and it didn't work out. I thought for sure we was going to get one of the DJs because I was all about DJ Moore, and then I was also all about DJ Chark. And then Chark goes down to Jacksonville, meets up with Uncle Rico and Gardner Minshew, and they blow it up. This dude looked amazing. Then he goes and gets his bag over here in Detroit, has a couple of injuries, and just doesn't really thrive in Detroit. And it may be because of the system. Hopefully, he comes to Baltimore, has a new system, is able to, hopefully he's able to thrive, and hopefully able to show, hey, that Ravens fans, this is what a wide receiver looks like. So I am all about DJ Chark. I know some people say, oh, this is the ultimate Baltimore Ravens signing. Yes, this is a pretty good Baltimore Ravens signing. In fact, I think I would pick this guy over Kenny Galladay, a healthy Kenny Galladay. I'd pick DJ Chark over. That's just me. So when it comes to DJ Chark, I mean, yeah, he had some injuries, but I mean, he was extremely capable and explosive, like I said, in Jacksonville. He's looking to return to form. He's only had 3 touchdowns in 22, but he averaged 16.7 yards per catch. And that's more than Stephon Diggs' 13.2. So imagine getting a consistent guy who gets you 16.7 yards per catch. Have him sitting on the outside with Bateman on the other side, Duvernay in the slot. I mean, that looks like a pretty good combo there. Of course, we still want to go after that number 1 wide receiver in the draft, hopefully JSN or Zay Flowers or whatever. But imagine DJ Chark in the mix with this new offensive coordinator, with our current wide receiver and passing game coordinators. I think that shows a lot of promise there, and DJ Chark will be a good pickup, and I'm guaranteeing you it'll be for cheap. Because Baltimore ain't finna pay that bag. Let's just be real. All right, so DJ Chark, that is our number 4. Let's read some comments here before I get into our number 3. So when it comes to the number 3 pick, or excuse me, the number 4, what do y'all have to say about it? People going back to the LA talk. I want to talk about it. He's back in New Jersey. I know him personally. He's from Newberry. I tried to recruit him for the Marines. All right, Houston has 2 first-round picks. What's a 1 and a 12? I'm pretty sure it's the second and the 12th. So I take DJ Chark, take him quickly. How is he? Or is he is, what is that? How tall is DJ Chark? I think he's like 6'4". And then Cleveland has a crappy culture for quarterbacks. Okay, y'all must be real behind or something. That's cool. I think they have always had a culture that has just hurt the quarterbacks. But like I said, I still think that Baker Mayfield was one of the best that they've had. And they were on the rise. Now, granted, Deshaun is going to do great things for them. As long as he stays off massage tables and all that, I think they'll be fine. Yes, that was some shade. Sorry. Number 3, this guy. I talked about him in previous shows and how he would be a great addition. And I'm just saying, let's just say MP Juice Man doesn't work out with Baltimore as far as the number they're looking for. It is not the number he's looking for. Or he decides, look, there's greener pastures elsewhere. Or he just, falls out of love with the Ravens. Somebody ticks him off and, he goes on about his way. And then fight somebody in the streets of Baltimore next to the CVS pharmacy, whatever situation may be to where MP Juice Man leaves Baltimore. Then we got another guy he's still got the speed. He's only allowed 13 pass defense. Actually, he had 13 pass defenses last season. It might have been more than that. I can't remember. But basically, this dude has been balling. absolutely balling for the Eagles. And, came from the Lions, came over to the Eagles. I thought for sure he'd be washed up, but no, his dude is still talented. He's a little older, he's still in his 30s, but he still can fly. He can still ball. And obviously, him and Bradbury were two of the coldest corners in the league. I think they had the number one secondary in the league. So, with that said, the guy, Darius Slay, folks. Darius Slay is number 3. Let's talk about it. That's that dude. When it comes to Slay, like I say, he's older. He can still ball. He was half of the coldest of secondaries. And I think him paired with our guys makes him one of the coldest. It makes our secondary just that much better. Like it makes it dang near elite. Granted, Baltimore's defense is really not the issue, but having this addition makes it a non-factor even in the draft. Like we could actually just go almost all offensive weapons inside the draft, and that would be like, hey, okay, we can shore up that offensive line position. We could take multiple stabs at a receiver. Heck, we can even go after a running back. We can go fully offensive in the draft, just about. I'd say draft one defensive lineman. But if you get Slay, you don't have to worry about anything else. I'll be honest. And maybe middle linebacker because Queen is not going to be here. We already know that. Queen's gone. Pay some bills. What you got to say about it? Brooke says she's going back with saying Johnny Football would have been something if it wasn't for the substance abuse. Substance abuse, domestic abuse. I mean, showing up late. You name it. Johnny Manziel was a headache for an organization. He had the heart, but he was definitely a headache. And then you got Delicious, who says Baker was great for them. He was. He was great. I mean, you saw when he came against Baltimore, he really brought it. It seemed like he stepped up his game. He would sit there and go against teams that were phenomenal. And between the good run game they had, which was pretty good, between their solid run game and his ability, that was a solid team. I mean, they took Baltimore to the brink many times. It wasn't like we were just destroying them. We actually had to bring it to Baker and help. CJ Mosley bailed us out once, and then Lamar bailed us out the next time. All right, Delicious says, I wouldn't be surprised if we get Slay. You saw it on Twitter. Like the eyeballs when Humphrey said, hey, it's going to be a great day. You see Slay come up out of nowhere and show eyeballs and retweet the status. So there's something. There may be something there. Maybe there's a recruiting pitch behind the doors. A recruiting pitch. So it would be cool if we had a number one wide receiver already. Yeah, it would be nice. So you're not sure about what are you not sure about Darius Slay? I mean, are there holes in his game that we can talk about? I mean, as you get older, yes, the legs may be an issue, but I think he still has his speed. I think he still shows like, hey, this is going to be a problem if you throw your number one wide receiver over here. I got it. All right, so we're talking about Chark, talking about Slay. Slay had a cap hit of 26.1 in 2023. Yeah, but he got cut for a reason, and so there was dead money that they had to take that hit on. His price may be different now because he's up in age. But he also made a Super Bowl, so his agent is probably banging the table like, if you want to get to a Super Bowl, this guy will get you there because he just got one, or he just got to a Super Bowl. So the money might be an issue, but it would be nice to see him there. And if Baltimore's got to spend somewhere, let's just spend it. Let's spend it on the corner. You know how we do with defense. This is a totally Eric DeCosta type move. Anthony Brown Jr. gonna be the Ravens QB. It's gonna be tough, and I'm gonna do a lot of crying if that's true. And we're gonna be all right. We're gonna have a special episode where I do a full-on memorial as I take down the sign and probably go shopping for. I'm probably not gonna put Anthony Brown up there. I'm sorry, he gonna have to convince me a little bit that he is that guy. All right. Big Red says, stop acting like the Browns didn't have the best run game in football. We couldn't stop them on the ground at all. But the thing is, the run game sets up the play action, bro. It does. It really does. If you got a great run game, it sets up things for Baker. And Baker was able to, he was able to thrive off of that. So, I mean, and there were times where, yeah, we couldn't defend the run, but also there were times when Brashard Perriman is scoring touchdowns on us. Heads up. I mean, he's scoring touchdowns with Baker Mayfield, and Baker kind of made him look good. How, if Baker was really bad, then how is Brashard Perriman making him look good? Unless, wait a minute, was Brashard Perriman good? Think about it. All right. Adi says Slay was coached by the new Ravens DB coach. And so, but also Slay is a post June 1st cut. It wouldn't be official until June 1st. Well, I mean, do we got to wait? Let's make the wait. All right. I thought they said he's going to be a post June 1st cut. Okay. So you got confirming that. Okay. Brooks says, and we're back to square one with receiver. Okay, I'll get back on that in just a second here. Let's see. Orlando Brown just signed with the Bengals. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? I need a moment. I need to think this out. What is with these players? They go out of the division and like, okay, we're happy for them. They do their thing. They go out and win a Super Bowl ring, and then they feel the need to come back into the division to come back at us. Like what's with that? Like he could have went anywhere else. But the money was right, so I don't blame him. $64 million, 4 years. Said more than 31 in signing bonus. Go ahead on Brown, get your money. We'll see you. We're gonna run all over you. All right. And then of course Malik Harrison. I don't know what you want to talk about Malik Harrison for, but let's just call it what it is. This is a guy who is a run stopper first. I mean, and I was impressed with his run stopping ability, but in coverage, this guy gets completely confused in space and coverage. He can't do it. There's many times when he's been benched because his inability to be able to cover. That's not what we're generally asking a middle linebacker to do. But there's going to be times when you're going to have to face off against a tight end and you got to show us something. I know you don't have to be Fred Warner. Fred Warner can cover wide receivers. But you got to do something. And I think Malik is not that dude. All right. So LOL, I think I hate Bengals more than the Steelers. Yes, the rivalry is changing. The Steelers are more of an afterthought, and you're like, all right, cool. Even when we lose to them, it doesn't hurt as much because Big Ben's not there. You're just like, all right, yeah, we lost. All right, moving on. If we lose to the Bengals, there's a salty, bad taste, and you know those daggone Bengals gonna come out of nowhere. They ain't been anywhere. They've been hiding in the slums underneath bridges or something, and then they finally come out and talk all this trash the second they get a W in something because they're like, oh yeah, we've been in the Super Bowl, we beat y'all, it's nothing. We got Joe, and we got Jamal, blah blah blah. All that, bro. We're gonna get them this year. We're gonna get them, folks. I believe. All right, next. It says, one salty player gone. Replace me with another Hurst out, OB Jr. in. Yes, because Hurst is now Carolina Panther. I don't know if y'all saw any of the edits on Twitter of his jersey swap. Somebody is really funny with these jersey swaps. They're just basically taking the equivalent of a crayon and coloring over the jersey on and putting it back on the screen. It's hilarious. Said PQ was same too. So I think if Queen goes, Queen gonna be one of the people who won't want that revenge. I totally believe that. I think he could end up going out of the division initially, but then coming back into the division for another team because he just really, really has it in for the Baltimore Ravens. So I mean, it is what it is. We're gonna have a lot of haters. Haters gonna hate, but the ball's gotta be played, baby. Ball's gotta be played. All right, here we are. Lisa says, "Oh, brother, that makes absolutely no sense since he gets Orlando Brown Jr." That actually, like I said, they needed something to shore up that line to give opportunities to Jamar Chase, and that's exactly what they just did right there. Shored up that line and made it look pretty darn good against against defenders now. So hopefully, like I said, we can still bring that pressure and still give them heck so they can't get that ball to Jamar. D says, Daffy versus Orlando Brown twice a year. They really need to figure out how to unlock Adafe. Like, I need to figure out like what's up with this guy. Last year, he said he focused on his legs. Said he was gonna have the strongest legs in the league because he was recovering from a shoulder injury. And we saw a lot of potential, but we didn't see the production that we needed to see out of Adafe. And hopefully he gets another shot this year to start and get more reps. All right, little shots over here. Right, Brookie, get rid of Hurst and comes Brown. Yes. So Hurst acts like we disrespected him. Obi Jr. acts the same way now. The thing is he wanted to be a left tackle. And I think Baltimore did him a service because Baltimore could have easily said, no, you're going to shut up and play, or you ain't going to play at all. You're going to play for us, or you're not going to play. Baltimore got picks up out of it. They got picks up out of moving Brown over to the Chiefs. And they did exactly what he wanted them to do. Go get him an opportunity to be a left tackle. Now he's a left tackle making bank. All right, so you just saw that Minnesota is in the hunt for Slay, and they probably have a bigger bag than, than the Ravens right now. Plus, when it comes to getting revenge, as you can see, we are already seeing that there's revenge is pretty much on the agenda along with money. I mean, there's nothing better for an NFL player than to get your bag and also get revenge on a former team. Slay would love to get revenge on Detroit. I don't know why. I just feel like it's just in his blood. Just like, all right, look, I'm coming back home. I'm coming back to mess with the old rivalry, the old team, and make a huge rivalry out of it. So good times. All right, Baltimore told him he was average at left tackle because he is. Oh, bang, bang, bang! Shots fired. This girl, completely came at him like that. He was decent. He was better in the run game. A lot better in the run game than he was in the pass game. Although they gave him a lot of credit for what the things he did in the pass game, but there was less reps against the pass than most other tackles in the league was facing when he was with Lamar. But he goes to Kansas City and was able to give decent protection there, except for the Super Bowl 2 years ago now. I got a lot of people saying he is mid. $64 million for mid is not it. I think they paid because he did his thing and he helped Patrick or Kermit, whatever y'all want to call him, get number 2. Just saying. So decent and top money don't go together. But I mean, it did for the Bengals. They dropped that money. And they foolish enough to pay it. I mean, it's whatever. That's on them. All right, let's keep rolling. So we are number 2. This guy, likes to ride around. I think this is the same guy who rolls around with Uzis inside Lamborghinis. At least I think that's the guy, right? Make sure I got this name right. Y'all let me know. Recently released from the Kansas City Chiefs, Frank Clark. I don't know. I don't see an issue with Frank Clark here. I think he would fit Baltimore very well if this is what we're looking for here. I think that he had 5 sacks last season. So, I mean, you're sitting there at 32 years old and you still got 5 sacks and you had 45 pressures in the season. Houston already showed that he can get 11 sacks with us. Add Frank Clark in Houston. I know I said I wanted to give the young guys a chance, but if we're bringing in vets, if we have to bring in vets, I like to bring in Clark because Clark is that veteran who can end up teaching our guys, develop them on the techniques. Houston over there developing and bringing that leadership and also the ability to the table. Oh yeah, I totally would be all over Frank Clark. Pause. He said the Bengals are desperate. Yeah, I guess they did need offensive linemen. I mean, they went and signed the one that was injured for the Cowboys last year. That didn't work out too well. I told everybody it wasn't gonna work out too well. Nobody believed me. They were like, "Oh, we could have got him." No, the Cowboys was fine with letting him go for a reason because that pick right there was just he was always injured, and you thought he was older. He said Frank Clark has a domestic violence charge against him. Okay, with that said, we do have to wonder if Frank is that dude for us, because we know, and what do we know, folks? That Baltimore is all about blue collar, clean slate players. You know how Eric DeCosta is. You know how Harbaugh is. He likes the guys with good character. There's a reason that Antonio Brown is not in this organization, no matter how much all the Facebook pages have went off about it over and over again about how much we need AB here. Because Baltimore like to be at the players with good character and good talent. You got to have both in order to come to Baltimore. And if he's got a domestic violence charge against him, that could be a major hang up on him signing with the Baltimore Ravens. But yes, if we get Frank Clark, he could help us. Okay, what are you talking about? Never mind, you was thinking of somebody else. Okay. All right, so you thought Houston only had 9.5 sacks because Oweh took a couple million out of his pocket by jumping on the QB as Houston tackled him. Okay, maybe we go fact check that. But he, like I said, he showed up more than we ever thought he was going to show up for the team. Those sacks could have went to somebody else, like one of the younger cats, but he actually came in there and he did his thing. But I say that to say this. Baltimore's defense is all about being unselfish. It's not about racking up the sacks. It's about doing the sacrifices on the stunts, being able to take on two players so that somebody else can get their shine on. And I think he was the guy who benefited off of a few of our other players, taking on those double teams on those stunts. All right, so we're sitting there, Frank Clark, like I said, with him, with the Chiefs, to be able to bust out 5 sacks, 45 pressures within the season at his age. I think that would be a good pickup as long as he doesn't have any off the field issues that need to be resolved. If Baltimore go ahead and takes a look at his, I think it's going to be in the interview. How do you do during the interview? Can you pass the interview and convince John Harbaugh that, hey, that was a one-time situation and that I'm a good guy and it's not going to happen again? Or you're going to do some dumb stuff like riding around with a Lamborghini and a Uzi? Just saying. All right, keep your nose clean and out of trouble. Amen. Let's keep the party going. All right, y'all know this is what we came here for. We sitting here 52 minutes. We about to be done with the show early tonight. I ain't saying, camera room keeps me long, but I'm just saying that we have a lot of fun, but it's okay. I enjoy either way. Hour or 2 hours, don't matter. But Brooke, we don't even have to worry about ringing the bell today because we sitting at 52 minutes, 49 seconds. The number one person the Ravens need to bring in. You know what? I'm going to let y'all guess for a second. I'm going to hold back and let y'all guess in the comments the number one player that is available in free agency for us that we need to bring in. I'd love to see what you have to say in the comments because we might all be on the same page. We might be on the same page. I'm not even going to give a clue as to who it is until I start seeing some of the answers. Go ahead and chime those in. Put them in the comments. For those of you who are watching this show on record, still put it in the comments and put why you believe it should be that guy. Even if we don't agree, I want you to still put it in. Those of you live, thank you for coming through tonight. Put it in the comments. Who do you think it's going to be? All right. We have one comment. Big Red says OBJ. Okay. Who else? It's a free agent, Brooke. Free agent. Mike Evans a free agent? Y'all talking about guys we got to trade for. Okay, so OBJ is the only free agent right now. You got two. Brooke, he ain't free. He ain't free. It costs picks to get this guy. This is her again. This is number 3. Brooke, I don't know if your keyboard's broken or something. This is like the 3rd time that you don't put Hopkins. I got Hopkins, and more Hopkins from you. Do we have another? We have another before I go ahead and put the name that is the free agent that we should definitely go after. The number one free agent that we should acquire for the Baltimore Ravens. I give it about, I'd say 20 more seconds as I go ahead and eat my cookie. Y'all imagine some Jeopardy music playing, and I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this for a second. Mm-hmm. Good job, Lotto. Fire cookies, y'all. Fire cookies. I might just stop doing this and have her sell cookies for me. All right, here we go. Big Red says OBJ a clowny. No, thank you on the clowny. Absolutely not. All right, y'all called it out straight out the gate. Oh, so you still think Mike Evans? Is Mike? I don't think Mike free. I don't think Mike free. All right, there it is, folks. Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, you've seen his videos. You seen it? YouTube. Oh, excuse me, not the YouTube, but the Twitter don't lie. The Twitter does not lie. He looked good. The ball looked good. I mean, he only sure, Odell, he was with two teams back in 2021. One the Super Bowl. He got injured during the Super Bowl. I think he's, rehabbed an entire offseason. But the dude, he had 5 touchdowns and 537 yards between two teams. But let's just face it, Baker was canceling him out. I don't know why, but you could see that Odell Beckham still got a lot of talent. And he was disrespected in Cleveland. Came over to Los Angeles and really helped that team thrive. Helped them get through the playoffs and helped them get to the Super Bowl. So just imagine Mr. Odell Beckham, turning down the Cowboys, turning down all these other teams to get to the Baltimore Ravens. I know that sounds really weird, right? But let's just face it. I mean, if the opportunity was there for him to play in Baltimore, if the money's right, like I said, as long as we have money in the positive, we can throw a little bit on the credit card to get Odell Beckham here. And that may mean, there's going to be a lot that's going on the credit card this year because, it's already going to be at least $52 million per year. I'm saying minimum for Lamar Jackson. And we don't know how that's going to be spread out. But with decent cap space right now, not decent, but like with cap space right now, it's not decent at all. They can put some money right now and sign Odell to a multi-year deal. I'd say at least a 3-year deal. And getting him around 18 million a year. Yeah, he wants 20, so you can go ahead and make it a little cheap for 18. Hopefully, you can get it for 18, and you put about 4 or 5 million on this year's contract, and then try to backload between the last 2 years of that contract, and see how that would pan out for the Ravens. Let's pay some bills. Lisa said, "I don't want his, drama." She don't want Odell Beckham's drama. Yes, there may be a couple of airplanes that have to be unloaded and reloaded. TSA might get involved. The FFA or the FAA might get involved, but he'll be here scoring touchdowns. Y'all got to remember. Excuse me. You got to remember, when it comes to wide receivers, they all are divas. Even the one we currently have in-house right now, he a diva. Y'all see it. You see his Instagram. You see how selfish this guy is. He's all about himself. I'm talking about Rashad Bateman, man. This dude is a very talented guy. But with that talent usually comes a lot of attitude. It just comes with the territory. They got swag, they got attitude, and they're going to have their issues off the field because that's just how they are built. Most wide receivers that are good, that are divas, they're going to have them issues. Odell's just one of those ones that's a little bit over the top with his. 1 second he's over here dancing on a boat with some neck gear. Next thing you know, he's in a hot tub full of dudes, whatever. But guess what? He's on the field doing his thing. Dennis Rodman had his issues. Show up to the arena with a wedding dress on because he don't married himself, and we didn't know what snow cone flavored hair he was going to have. Even though it wasn't the thing back in the day. He did it. Different nose rings, all this stuff. Big sex symbol, getting Carmen Electra, all this. You didn't know what he wanted to do as far as taking a trip to Vegas during the regular season. But the dude was balling when it came to rebounds. He is one of the reasons that Jordan got a ring. Got one of his rings anyway. Because of the amount of rebounds that this guy was able to do. Jordan was able to use this guy and turn him into something great. Don't you think Lamar can use Odell Beckham and turn that into more than one playoff win? I think so. Let's see. So I'm still holding out for Hopkins, and he's still on another team until he's on another team. Yes, I still think Hopkins. Yes, it'd be a great one to bring in, but this is free agency. This is free agency right now. So we're talking about free agent stuff. Maybe I'll do another episode to where we'll talk about those trades, or maybe we can even do it right now. I don't really care. I got time. So when it comes to those trades, yeah, we'd have to go and trade and figure out what we're going to trade. And from that scenario right now, what do we have? Let's say we have a third and we have Pat Queen. Maybe we trade that third and then we trade Pat Queen to pull over Nuke into the Baltimore Ravens. You know, DeAndre Hopkins would look great. Never, I've seen the jersey swaps. This dude looks really good in purple. So let's see. And then he's on Aaron Rodgers' wish list. Looks like a good chance. The thing about Rodgers, like I said, he's trying to tell everybody what his demands are. He's passively saying it. We've recognized that from the show. But I don't think the Jets are going to go out and get him Nuke. I think they got decent options in house already, and then if they got him Lazard, they're not going to go get him Nuke. Plus, they got Garrett. They got Garrett Wilson. Garrett is really a good receiver, and he's going to show it in year 2 that he's going to be even more explosive, especially with Rodgers. They don't need Nuke. We need Nuke. All right. John said no on OBJ. I gotta wonder on that one. I think hey, if the deal's right enough, I think Odell could still come to Baltimore. That's if the deal falls apart with the Dallas Cowboys. So you gotta look at that. There we go. I don't think Bateman is all about himself. Yeah. Okay. Keep rolling. I just think some things were going behind the scenes that we didn't know about. I just think that guy, he's mad and he takes emotion with every single tweet that comes out. People saying, oh, he's injury prone. He gets mad because people said that. I mean, I'm sorry, but you've been injured 2 years in a row. That could mean injury prone. Yes, you hadn't had a injury in college, but your consistency in the NFL has not been there because of injuries, because you're not there. Your best ability is your availability. And if you ain't there on the field, how you going to prove that you the next Justin Jefferson? How you going to prove that you the next Jamar Chase? How you going to prove that you got the skills of Diggs? How you going to prove that you got the ability to climb the ladder like Julio Jones would like that? If you ain't on the field, you iced up, son, then you can't be on the field. All right, so I think Bateman just frustrated. Yeah, and that's the thing. I told you, when it comes to divas, they are emotional. They get offended easily. And like I said, they ended up being little head cases sometimes. Especially when you come in at the general manager on Twitter instead of just calling him on the phone. Yeah, that's a little emotional right there. So me and Lamar packing up a Mayflower truck, and don't you dare. Don't you dare, Big Reg. Don't leave us, man. Yeah, of course, yeah, I don't want Lamar to leave either, but we need Big Reg here because he's going to help us scout wide receivers, coming closer to the draft because we know we need them. All right, Delicious says Garrett is filthy. Garrett is definitely filthy. You should have seen, just watching him after the catch, the guy, what he just makes people miss. He's able to just turn it up all the way upfield. All right, Camrou says it's a lot of nut hugging going on. Hey, welcome, Camrou, to one of these few Raven shows. Disrespecting Lamar and saying he's asking for too much money. It sounds funny to me when people count other people's money. Oh, I'm not counting it. You count. I ain't counting. I ain't worried about Lamar. I ain't even talking about Lamar. You just decided to bring it up. You just wanted to bring it up tonight. You did that to him Monday. Love you, bro. She said, what you mean, you and Lamar? He over here trying to leave with him. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up with y'all's comments, but you had trip. Okay, so he's saying he had to check on us. So if we don't get Nuke, if we don't get Hop, I'd be fine with OBJ. I really don't like him, but whatever. I'd take AB at this point. All right, Cam, what's good, Mr. No Show? Remember I told y'all he was family? True. She said, Cam, you're fired. Oh, my goodness. Lots of shade going around. Love you guys. So I'm in Atlanta visiting with his family. Yeah, give him a break, man. Well, in that case, it's okay not to not show up. Okay, y'all just chat with him. Okay. That's fine. Let's see. Then y'all want to talk to me, it's cool. I know Cam's here, and he looked better than me and stuff. He got all the muscles and whatnot. But I'm somebody too. I'm somebody too. You can show me a little appreciation. I said 45th time you've missed dinner. Yeah, y'all still talking to Cam. So hope all the fam is good. Bro. Hey, is anybody gonna talk to me? Y'all owe me some money for all this. Anyway, so Lisa says, look at DeMar Hamlin when he collapsed on the field. Well, what about it? Where are we going with this, Lisa? Yeah, it was a tragedy, but who? What you talking about? I ain't talking about him. What you talking about, man? Anyway, so once I start streaming, I'm coming on the show. Yeah, for sure. So, yo, Ingrave, you come in here talking to Cam too. Like, can I get somebody to interact with? This is why I'm on the show. Y'all gonna be, I'm just gonna take lunch. Lucky I forgot my cookie. Jimmy, disrespectful. I swear. I'm about to burn something down. I'm about to come over there. Where you at? I'm about to come visit people. Cameron said, Couch, what up? Like, dang. I'm like, come on, man. Talk to me. I said, we love you, bro. We love you. I love y'all too, man. I love y'all too. All right. So, since we've chatting about it, we was chatting about players that we need to. Oh, yeah. I appreciate it. We was chatting about Odell Beckham. So, Lisa saying John said no. I don't remember this. But if he did, okay, cool. But I know it's just like it opens the door for negotiations. And it also means like if Odell's want to take a certain price cut, because you know how Eric Costa is. If he can get you it cheap, cool. I think there's still opportunity. I think if Odell says, all right, look, I'm not gonna mess up again, not gonna do anything stupid, you ain't gonna see me doing anything crazy, I'm not gonna be dancing on boats, being in hot tubs with anybody, and just constantly acting a daggone fool in the club, whatever. I think John Harbaugh gonna be like, all right, look, no more airplane incidents. We're gonna dye your hair purple and just stick to that. That's all we sticking with. Either that or just the straight up, keep it black. And we're gonna bring you in. Like the first mess up, the first butt smack in the showers or something like, look, it's over. It's wrap. We're gonna cut them. All right. So it's a lot of love going on in the room. And a lot of hate as well. Couch like Prochet trying to get off the. That was low. We're gonna end the show. Thanks for tuning into the hump. That was hurtful, man. That was hurtful. Anywho, so it says, do you think it's possible to trade for D Hop or Mike Evans? I think D Hop, yes. Mike, I don't think we have the draft capital to do that. I'll be honest with you. Mike Evans' price tag is going to be pretty high because his production level is still to the roof. So is Noops. But I think Arizona's price is a little bit lower than Tampa Bay's will be for Mike Evans. I don't think that's just a guy you just, you come up out the street saying, hey, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to shake this third and this fifth round pick at you and see if you give up Mike Evans. That's not going to happen, especially when they don't have a need for linebacker like the Cardinals do. He said OBJ is just a hot mess. He said that hoodie is fire, by the way. Like I told you, man, what I designed it myself, baby. I had to go put the new symbol up there. So I put this on the hoodie. I was thinking, like, if I do a new batch, I want to put quotes on the back, some type of motivational quote, something along the lines of what we say here on the show, something that gets people going. I want something that is inspirational so that when people see your back, they're going to ask to see that, like, hey, well, who is that? What is that? And they ask about the show, and then you can refer them for me. So I'll go ahead and design a new one. I'll probably put the design on the show before I even start the shirts, do the order or whatever. We'll see who's interested. All right. Brooks says, out of this whole list, Slay is the most attractive. You mean attractive as in I'm bringing him to the organization, or you found a new boo besides Marlo? I don't know. I'm not really sure, what you mean by that. Yeah, it is. I wouldn't mind Michael Thomas. He just got signed. He got signed already, man. And he got signed to a $15 million million deal. So he's going to help Derek Carr look pretty good. All right, so let's talk about those trades. When it comes to trading for a wide receiver, of course, there's Nuke. Nuke could, like I said, he could go for they want a second, but if we get Pat Queen in a third, then it could still happen. And I think Baltimore's probably already made the deal. I think they're just waiting closer to draft day to announce the deal, kind of how they did with Hollywood. But I mean, it's a possibility. It's just one of the things that could be out there. And then I don't know. So with Mike Evans, I just don't think that's going to be the deal. Yes, there could be a trade in the works with the Jets to bring in a wide receiver uh, who might not even make the roster. And they got some decent ones. Denzel Mims is one of those. I think, hey, he's sitting on the back end of the roster, and Ron can't throw it to all of them. All right, so Orlando's going to Bengals. We already went there on that. Yep. Joe Burrow's going to be running for his life. Marlo will always be her number one boo, even if it's weird. Yes, we already know your situation with Marlo. So for those of y'all who don't know, Brooke is in a pretend relationship. I think it's a marriage/divorce with Marlo, and then they're in a situationship right now because of the things he posted on Twitter about food. Every time he makes a diss on Chick-fil-A, or I think they broke up because he said something about Zendaya. When he said something about Zendaya, Brooke was done. She was done with him. So it is what it is. There we go, Jerry Judy. But their asking price is a little bit high. Anderson. Anderson can be chosen somewhere else. That is a guy who's a legit headache. Let's just be real. Let's call it what it is. Have you ever seen him on his Instagram timeline? You know what type of headache you're dealing with right there. Spend about just as much time as NBA YoungBoy going off like crazy, saying who can get it, like he's from the streets or something. So then you got Jerry Judy, who just did not get I think he's one of those guys who'll fit better in the Ravens system than he would in Denver, and I think he would flourish in Baltimore. And watching his pre-draft videos, oh my gosh, he was on Twitter, just seeing, I could see all the highlights, just Twitch, just tons and tons of Twitch, great route running. This is a guy who would fit Baltimore very well, and I can't believe Denver is saying first round pick for the asking price. The dude's talent level, production was not first round asking price. But that's what they paid for him initially. They want the original round tender for this guy, and I don't think that's fair to anybody trying to come after him. Let's see. Yes, sorry. Oh boy. All right, so Big Reg, Cameron says, Big Reg, who do you think we're drafting? Okay, Delicious says Broncos tripping that they think they're going to get a first for Judy. I want him with no more than a third round, maybe a second. I think if we had a second, then yes, Judy would be here right now. But we don't have that second, and that's what the current hangup is. And I think that's why Pat Queen's sitting here like wondering day to day: do I pack my stuff? Do I not pack my stuff? So go ahead and do I get her Uber to the bus station? What do you want me to do? Because we are looking to get those picks that we need, or we're looking to make that trade happen to bring in that wide receiver. He knows that his future is not here with the Ravens because there's a big deal that needs to be made in order to keep him here, even though his production was not that great. This guy misses tackles in open space, and he only gets unlocked when there's a better guy sitting next to him. Just saying. All right, so I would have said a one-person relationship. Sorry, Brooke. I apologize. Delicious. Who you think we drafting? So you're just asking everybody. All right, so it's like you like Zay Flowers. I like Zay Flowers as well. And then he got, like I said, he got that glowing endorsement from Steve Smith. However, I'm gonna be honest with you, I like Steve Smith as the player. I don't like Steve Smith as the commentator because Steve Smith is all about entertainment and not necessarily the facts. Like he is going to, if like let's just say Zay has a bad game. Let's say he gets drafted to the Ravens. Let's say he has a bad game and gets roasted. He's dead to Steve Smith in the books because Steve's gonna sit here and destroy him in the media versus putting encouragement behind the guy and going back and coaching and double downing on this guy. Steve, the second you have one bad game, he is going to roast you in the media, and he don't care how you feel about it. And that's just the way of the media, but I just don't like the person that Steve is in the media at times. Kind of a jerk. All right, Cam, I think we take Zay Flowers if we have Lamar or a cornerback. Yes, if we can get Lamar back, I think we go get that weapon for him. We go get, and I like I said, I hate y'all. Y'all probably gonna hate me when I say this, but the version of Hollywood Brown, the good version, because we still need speed. We need to be able to stretch the field, and we need to be able to take a guy first round that has the talent, the burst, the explosion, the excitement of what we thought we were getting with Hollywood Brown. And Hollywood had those flashes. Like I said, the Colts game when he tore it up, you can see, hey, this is a guy who has potential to be a number one wide receiver. And maybe this year, him and Kyler, they tear it loose to where he looks like that number one wide receiver for them. But it didn't look like that consistently for us. And I think Zay Flowers could be consistently a guy. I'm not saying the guy because I still think Bateman could be that number one, or we can get Nuke in there and then he could be the number one. But we'll see. All right, yes, here. Talking about Cameron missed his dinner. I still talking about this dude. If defense, if defense, I might say Cam Smith. Okay. Well, let's look up Cam Smith real quick because I got my little manual here just to look at the reviews on this dude. Give me just a second here. Cam Smith. All right. Here we go. Cam Smith out of South Carolina, and he's 187 pounds, 6'1". Starter for the Gamecocks. We're talking cornerback. He has proven ability to compete in the SEC the last 2 years, having great success. Good cornerback size. He's got the length, the covered outside corners, blah, blah. All right, so he struggled and battled through a hip injury. Last thing we need is a guy who has hip injuries. He's also dealt with concussions, causing him to miss a game. So he's got average bulk on his frame. So we're sitting at 187 pounds. That's decent bulk. Maybe he can bump up to about 202, something like that. That'd be great. But let's see. They said he's an outside man corner that can bump inside. We need that outside man corner. That's what we're looking forward to on the other side. Looking at 11 people in the room right now. Please hit the like button, hit subscribe if you're new here. Appreciate you coming through. And all you who are sitting here for the recording, thanks. Appreciate ya. All right, let's go with Big Reg. Big Reg says Zay can go get a jump ball too. Now, JSN was here. I take him, but I believe he'll be gone. JSN may be off the board before we get there. At least I'm hoping he's still there. I'm hoping there's just like a run on defensive ends and linebackers and quarterbacks, and they leave the wide receivers alone until 22, and then boom, we get JSN. It'd be great because that is a explosive wide receiver who can do just about it all. I say he's got a phenomenal talent. I love his catchphrase. I love the route running. There's nothing I don't like about JSN. I don't think he's the next Jamar Chase, but I think he is going to be one of the better receivers in Baltimore should he come here. Yeah, he don't care about speaking the truth. He's speaking the truth. Cash just be hating sometimes like an old man. Look, he don't be speaking the truth 100%. Dude just be sometimes this dude just be straight like over exaggerating and just hating on players just to be hating. Anyway. So Lisa's saying I like Greg Olson. What y'all getting at, man? So you love Smitty, ain't with the BA. What y'all talking about, man? Hey, Greg Olson too. This just not his commentating. Okay. Oh, yeah, I must be talking about commentators. I must have missed a lot of stuff going on in here for a great deal. Anywho, so trade scenarios, we already know who we want to go for. So some of y'all are saying Mike Evans, some of y'all are saying Nuke, some of you saying Judy. If there's an opportunity to actually, no, I think Keenan Allen just locked back up with the Chargers, so that's off the table. Is there any other wide receivers you think we'd be able to trade for? I mean, because we already know cap money wise, or was it dead cap wise? We know we can't trade for Deebo Samuel, even though Deebo don't know who his quarterback is going to be legit this next season. They know that he's going to be the wide receiver for them for a little bit longer because of the dead cap money. that could go away, could go along with a trade to Baltimore. Same thing with DK Metcalf. Just too much dead cap that they would have to deal with, being that they gave him a lot of upfront money. That's just how dead cap money works. You give out that signing bonus. When the bigger the signing bonus, the worse it's going to look like when you have to trade this individual. Let's see. Somebody asked a question. Brooks says, y'all think the Bengals going to be able to pay Burrow, Chase, and Mixon? Yes. I think the opportunity to pay, Burrow, Chase, and Mixon is there. One, because running backs ain't that expensive. You don't have to pay them as much as you would have to pay a wide receiver. So we're looking, let's just say you popped out a $16 million a year contract for Mixon. You popped out let's just face it, Chase is going to be that dude. We're talking about $34 million a year is what it's going to take to pay Jamar Chase. And then Burrow, by the time his contract comes around, this dude going to be making about $57, $58 million a year, because that's just how the escalator works. And he's going to break the bank. So, yeah, they're going to drop a lot of people off the team, but they're definitely going to keep that core of those three going. All right, so we're multitasking, listening, and talking amongst us. Yeah, I've been noticing that. But you think Mixon is going to be gone? Yeah, I mean, running backs come a dime a dozen, to be honest. Mixon is one of those ones that is a little bit better than most of those dozens, but I think if they can go with a cheaper, faster option, then they're going to go with it. And I think that's just kind of the change of the guard. Is what's going on nowadays. Sometimes you just can't afford to keep escalating your cap number by paying these older guys. When you can go at the draft and you see something just as flashy, or the word is developmental, beside them, which means they got potential to do something big. They just need that opportunity. And going to those teams that are not willing to pay these high prices, they could get that opportunity because they're going to drop a player. I think Higgins definitely going to be gone because he's going to get that number one wide receiver money. Jacksonville could be one of those teams that wants to pay top wide receiver money. Dallas wants to get another wide receiver in the house. So imagine Higgins going to Dallas. That'd be cool for them. ATL. Saints, they don't know what a daggone cap number is, so they just keep going into the debt. They'd sure pay him no problem. And, of course, the Lions, they like taking those chances on former Bengals. Let's see. Guy from Newark. Hey, welcome to the show, man. Appreciate you coming through. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down. It says, can we afford Brandon Cooks from the Texans? Yeah, but do you want him? I mean, doesn't he have like an injury thing going on too most of the time? And he's been traded so much. I mean, I know he's not going to go for another first-round pick. I think he's been traded for a first-round pick a couple of times now. But he's also a little bit older. He used to have that twitch. He used to be sick with it. He was one of those guys I really wanted when he went to the Saints before he went to the Pats. He was just a twitchy, fast dude and just really set it off, set the stage, set the tone for the field back in the day. But I don't think he's that same guy. But he would definitely be one of those Ravens type players to bring in. Thanks for your question, by the way. All right. So the AFC just keeps getting stronger. At least that's what they keep saying. And it does. When you think about it, with Aaron Rodgers in the division, or in the conference, excuse me, it is definitely going to be a major problem. Oh, Brooke, I'm sorry. Yeah, you definitely forgot the clock. Yeah, you got distracted. Yeah, because Cameron came in the room. It's okay. That's your side boo came in. It's cool. It's cool. I ain't gonna tell Marlo about Cameron. All right. So they got a lot of players on defense in 2024 that'll be free agents. Brandon Cooks got over 1,000 yards receiving every year. And that's great. But do we want him in Baltimore is the question. Hey, is he going to have that same production in Baltimore? Is he going to have those injuries? But like I said, going up in age, you got to wonder, hey, are they going to be injury prone? Are they that same guy? Have they polished their route running? Because when they're young, you got the speed. When you get a little bit older, you got to learn the route running. Remember how Derek Mason was? He was a full-on burner when he was with the Titans. When he came to Baltimore, he polished his route running skills and became that much better for this organization. I still think Derek Mason is one of the top wide receivers the Ravens have ever had because of his ability to route run. And even when he had garbage quarterbacks, Derek Mason was that dude. And I think he's Mason's the only reason Joe Flacco looked halfway decent his rookie year. Is because of Derek Mason. Why are we firing Cameron again? Oh no, so Cam's fired. Yeah, that's your. Oh, you can't fire your side boo. Anyway, so Big Red says, "Yeah, I'll take him over Jamie Noche. You can quit taking these shots, my boy, man. This dude might actually get a shot this year. It's gonna cost Baltimore a little bit more than they thought. Let's see, because they hadn't cut him yet. It wasn't one of the things that they did to cut. I think if they have to make the room, then yes, he'll go. But I mean, it's gonna cost Baltimore what about $1 million to keep this guy, right? So let's just say I think it's a little bit more than $1 million, but let's just say they keep this guy on the roster, or not. Let's say if they get rid of him, it's going to cost them about $770,000 or whatever for just another. If we're looking for another set of hands to replace him, so we're looking at close to maybe a $600,000 difference to get rid of James Prochet when you can keep him and give him another year, give him another shot. I don't know. Maybe I'll do another episode and it'll be just the James Prochet episode. Y'all might get annoyed, but you know what? This will be for me. I'm kidding. But it is a guy that I wouldn't mind seeing get another shot, another opportunity. And, maybe he does better this year. Maybe he does better in this offense. Y'all have talked about it a lot, saying that players may perform differently because they didn't perform in Greg Roman's offense. And a lot of wide receivers have mentioned this, saying that they didn't get the opportunities. Maybe Prochet is one of those guys who did not get those opportunities. All right, so it said Derek Mason was so underrated. He was also a diva. I don't know if y'all ever heard him in interviews. If you've seen him on the sidelines, he was frustrated when Anquan Bolden came to town because of the fact that his reps were getting taken. He was a diva just like the rest of these wide receivers. When you were number one, the territory that comes with that number one wide receiver is the ability to have that attitude and that diva streak. Anyway, so Brooke, why you gotta keep firing me? She's like, "Cause you ain't here. You ain't here." It's a little drama here, a little soap opera right now. Let's see. Delicious says, "I'm not sticking my neck out for Pro no more because I still have a little faith in him. I got a little faith in him too. I feel that if this guy goes to camp, I think he's got a chance to be a camp warrior again and get another shot in preseason. And then maybe during that preseason, he can show consistent back-to-back plays to where the Ravens want to be convinced enough to keep this guy. Maybe they let him come to camp. Let's just hope. We got a lot of days ahead of us to see if he's actually going to come to camp. But if he doesn't, I ain't going to be too mad. But hopefully they replace him with the Zay Flowers, with the JSN, with OBJ, with somebody of significance that's going to bring big plays to this team. All right, here we go. Adit says, "Is Cortland Sutton worth trading for, provided he signs a new contract?" I don't know. I think he's got a good route run. I think he learned a lot of things from Jerry Jeudy in the offseason as far as his route running for a big guy. That's crazy, right? It'd be fun to see him come to Baltimore, but I think the price tag would be a little bit high on him. It's probably going to be higher than Jeudy's. All right. So Big Red said, Brooks said, "All is well that ends well." Okay. I'll end this ish with a blank you and have a nice. What the heck is going on? Shout out, my man. Okay. Y'all having a time, man. We sitting here at an hour and 30 minutes and just yapping about nothing. All right. So to end the show, let's look up a player. Do y'all have a player that y'all want me to read a review on or just take a quick look at? Wide receiver, whatever player you want to look at, we'll look it up together. Last episode, Cam, he already ranked his wide receivers, so I don't know if we have already taken a look at those, but if you want to see something else, let me know. I see in the comments if there's a player that you want us to take a look at, and I'll do the study on after I do the reading tonight, and we'll talk about it in the next show. But who do you want to see? It's about you. It's your time to shine. All right, let's talk about Sutton. He says, not a big Sutton fan, but I can see that happening. And Adi says Broncos won at least a first for Judy. They seem higher on him than Sutton, which is shocking because Sutton was making the plays. Judy wasn't making as many plays. All right. Cameron says he wants me to look up CB cornerback Gonzalez. You know what Gonzalez's first name was? Because all this is going by last name. I was just going by first name in here. But I'll just go to the corners anyway. Got edge players. I should have tabbed this up. Got offensive tackle. I need tight ends. Why is this all over the place? Defensive ends. That is definitely not. Interior offensive lineman. What you said, Christian Gonzalez? Thank you. Oh my gosh. Christian Gonzalez. He's 190. All right, so for Christian Gonzalez, he's 189. This is a 2-year starter for Colorado before entering the transfer portal, and he played for the Ducks. He's chosen to come out early after a fantastic 2022 season, so I guess he did pretty decent with 50 tackles and 4 interceptions. He's a twitched up corner. That sounds great. Says outstanding overall length and size, meeting all necessary thresholds for coaches. He's just 21 years old, so there's going to be plenty of shelf life on this guy. As he's a gifted athlete, he's got explosiveness in his frame, and he has the ability to carry receivers with vertically with ease. He's excellent in closing bursts, so if the ball's in the air, this guy's able to close the distance when it's in the air. Here's his weaknesses. So while he's excellent at straight lines, this guy can get juked. He takes too many false steps when working out of the back pedal, leading to some initial separation for defensive backs. Appears to have some stiffness when changing direction. What's the height on this guy? 6'2", 201 pounds. Okay, tall guys usually have the stiffness. A guy at 6'2" should be mid-range, and he should have a little bit more fluid hips. So flexibility might be an issue with this guy. But other than that, he had a pretty solid year. Let's see what the overall is for this guy. They're saying he is a zone corner. Are we looking at another Richard Sherman type individual? Not sure. Let's see what you guys have to say about it. So Christian Gonzalez from Oregon. Okay, cool. I say he's probably second best corner. He's nice. Okay. Yeah, look up, man. Look up, man. What you mean? I'm reading from the review. Can I sit here and read a bit? Dang. Judging my skills here. What you like, my producer or something now? Dang. You ain't the boss of me, man. Anywho. What's it say here? It said check out QB Malik Cunningham from Louisville. Maybe a good 6th round QB. I remember watching some highlights on Malik. He was definitely he was a decent guy. Let's see. Malik. He ain't even in my stuff here. 6th round quarterback. I guess I have to go look him up a little bit later because he's not on this book. He might be an undrafted free agent or something. So if we take a late round QB, I wouldn't be shocked on Stetson Bennett. I think Stetson improved it now. Got 2 ships. Got 2 chips on him right now. So I'm thinking this is a guy who could probably go in the 3rd round. And, it'd be a steal for somebody. Like, I don't know, the Buccaneers, because they're simply around that area. They're closer to Georgia. They can see what's going on. They probably got scouts just hovering over there like, hey, man, Stetson Bennett, take a flyer, take a late round flyer. He goes in there and competes with Baker, wins the job. He could be that dude for the Bucs. Just saying. Or he can go to ATL. Be that dude. Since it's already, he'd be homesteading and just go in there and transition easy to the Georgia Dome. All right. Devin Witherspoon from Illinois is better than Gonzalez. That's something I'll need to see the tape on and go ahead and review that. So I'll do that tonight while I'm in bed. Cameron Witherspoon will be gone. He says, name your best fit at cornerback. I'll leave that to y'all. And then Stetson Bennett performed just as well as Levi at the Combine. Okay, but the Combine Like it's just a game. It's just a game. It's just a thing that they study for, and you got to go with the tape. Go with the tape. What does the tape say? Is Stetson Bennett's tape on the same level as Levi's? Because if it is, then yes, we have a good conversation. But if his tape is not showing the same thing, if his ability to throw outside the numbers, because we know he was throwing inside the numbers to those tight ends, but is his ability to throw it outside the numbers the same as Levi? All right. Adam Schefter, Big Head Self says Slay is probably staying with the Eagles. He was never officially released, but probably got that wrong too. Who knows? I don't even know anymore. It's so frustrating when it comes to Adam Schefter. This dude constantly capping about Lamar, and I just don't trust anything come out of his mouth now. I'm like, this dude is officially Ian Rappaport. No, excuse me, Jason Lock and Four, because Jason Lock and Four is Ian Rappaport. Adam over here tripping as well because he needs to get a headline. And then you got freaking Stephen A. Smith somewhere talking about Cam. He knows nothing. All right, so what y'all think of Deonte Banks? Man, I mean, that's the Maryland dude, right? All right, we're going to 194. I got some studying to do. I'm sitting here messing around. Yep, Deonte Banks, Maryland, strengths. He rose into the scene following a stellar freshman 2019, and his career tied off a bit in 2020 and 2021 after dealing with injuries, and he rose to success in 2022. So he's a well-built corner. He's prototypical with the 6'1" size. Weaknesses: suffered the season-ending injury with the shoulder injury in 2021, and he only played in 2 games. He's only played 1 full season. Do you want a guy that doesn't have that many reps on the team doing that? We got the same thing with Queen. Had 1 stellar season, shoots up the boards into the draft, and then we find out the guy can't tackle. Could be an issue if we go to another guy who had 1 stellar season, and all of a sudden he's got injuries on top of that. Just saying, bro. All right, so you like Banks. He needs to work on his technique, but has the skill set and physical attributes. Okay. Does anybody believe in the corners that we drafted last year? All right, so Levi puts Mayo on his what? What? Where are you getting this, bro? I hope he makes better decisions on the field than he does with Mayo in his coffee. It's nasty. Ugh. Bro says he done what now? Exactly. I'm sitting here just like he I'm listening to say again. Mm. Yeah. We got Marlo. Marlo makes all types of bad food decisions, and then we'd have Deonte Banks. Or no, it's gonna be Levi. Yeah, that'd be weird. Yeah, Levi ain't coming to Baltimore. Let's just put that out there. Yeah, Pepe. Let's go with Pepe. Talk about Pepe. So Pepe Williams, and we picked him up last year. He showed some promise, in a slot. So we do need that slot guy. But I'm thinking Stevens outside, Marlo, Pepe. We okay. It's decent. We got guys for the future. Just got to believe in them and get them more of those reps. All right, so you was high on Armour Davis last year. Okay. I still don't know what happened to my boy. You know what I'm talking about. Cameron, what's the guy name? Tell us talk about it. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Storm Duck. And he ain't on the list at all right now. I don't know what's going on with this guy. Look, we got to figure out where Storm Duck is and if Storm Duck's coming to the NFL. All right, so that's some YT people. What is she talking about? Oh yeah, Jalen R. Davis. Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember him. Okay. And then before Jalen Armin Davis played, yeah, I think everybody was high on this guy. And then, you got to get the reps in. You got to shake off that college rush and be given opportunities. But if you ain't giving those opportunities, then yes, there could be, perceptions out there that you might be a waste of a pick. Camp, we got to see what happens in camp. Just got to get there. All right, Brandon Stevens, straight boo-boo. Oh, so mean. So mean. This guy was so versatile for us the year before, and people gave him high praises. And the more reps this guy gets in, I think he is going to be Not exceptional, not Pro Bowl type, but a decent addition for the Ravens, or a decent, keep for the Ravens for the future. Just let them get those reps, folks. It's just, that's what it's really all about. Reps and coaching. We got bodies in the house, keep it for cheap. That way you can add money to other positions and let these guys ball. They were drafted for a reason. Let them give them a shot, man. Before we dog them out completely. Like, a Storm Duck apparently transferred to Penn State, and he is not showing anywhere on here. I think he's probably got one more year of eligibility in before he decides to go into the draft. It's kind of sad because I really did want to see Storm Duck. He was tearing it up tearing it up the year before. This past year, I didn't check. I need to go ahead and go back and check on his stats to see how he did. But before, he was looking like one of the top corners to come out. At least top corner prospects that could come out. But then when he recommitted, he wasn't given a thought. So I asked Damian Parson about it when he comes on. I know this guy just watches tape on everybody. I don't know how he stay married, but I'm just saying. That's my guy. All right. So we sitting here 140. Let's go ahead and end the show, because I'm not going any further unless y'all give me some donations over here right now on the super chat or the or the cash app, because I'm doing this for free, folks. Doing this for free. Let's see. We got any last comments, reattacks? Anybody want to say anything before I go ahead and end this thing? All right, man, it's been a fun show tonight. I just want to say, appreciate y'all coming through, the loyalty, the love. Much love to each one of y'all for constantly just rocking with your boy on a Wednesday night. Thanks for tuning in to the home of Original Sports Perspective, from our couch to yours. This is your couch writer Raven saying, look, the dream is free. The hustle is what you got to pay for. It's necessary. You got to put the work in, and we're going to keep putting the work in on this show here. So I just want to say thank you all for being here. Thanks for showing that love to your boy. And, it's been another good show, and I can't wait to have Cameron back on this thing, man. I miss you, boy. Hope you're having fun with your family. Y'all take care. Peace out.
Introducing the Couch Rider Raven Report. Let's go. Ravens, Couch Rider. We gon' ride out. Couch Rider. We gon' ride out.
For some of you Twitter gangsters, this is just a hobby, Original Sports Perspective. You can't stop me. Couch Rider Report, it's reflective. Please respect it. You will get checked, and your knowledge will be tested. I ain't the coldest Raven, but this is my show. Shout out to the Barry White of rap for the beat, though.